Alright, hello everyone, it's Silver Kyle, and today I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on a video that I had seen from AlphaOmegaSin, and I'll put a link in the description box below. That also links to an article from IGN, I'll put a link down there as well, stating Nintendo files patent for console with no optical drive. And I find this subject really interesting because it leads into a bunch of different areas that we can talk about. One of them being, could this be the NX? We don't really know a lot about the NX at all. The only things that I think have been confirmed is that it won't be competing against the Wii U or the 3DS. So it's not a new console specifically replacing the Wii U or a handheld replacing the 3DS. It's something else, possibly a hybrid of both, and especially if they go in this route. So they have said that this is, I'm reading from the article here, instead the patent shows games stored on a hard drive and further cites high-speed communication such as ADSL or optical communication like high-speed fiber internet as a delivery method for game data. However, it's not all digital because there is, they can also read SD memory cards, so kind of like what the 3DS uses. And SD memory cards can be gigantic. They can be, you know, like 100 gigabytes or something like that, I read. So they can store basically an entire physical release on that, which would be interesting if they end up going that route again. But this kind of scares me, because if this ends up being what the NX is something that you can, to me, it seems like if this ends up being the NX, it would be because of what they've said before, that maybe you can download Wii U games, but it would also be, you'd be able to play your 3DS games on the TV. And then I also think that maybe it would be like a kind of hybrid of both, as in it would be like a 3DS XL, kind of like the gamepad, but a little bit smaller, so it could be portable, but then you could also hook it up and have play your game on the TV, which I think would have been great for what the Wii U could have been, as in like you can have this screen that you can bring along with you and still play your games with the Wii U off. I think that that's what they should have gone in the direction, because nobody really wants nobody uses the gamepad for a lot of games other than to be able to play in a different room, but playing in a different room isn't enough. It'd be cool if you could go to your friends, or if you're in transit and you could use it as a 3DS and play your game. You get back home, you turn on the Wii U, you play it on your TV, right where you left off when you were on the bus. That would have been a better idea. Now, if that's what they end up doing with the NX, but you have to download the games, I don't know how it's not bad, but I don't know how well that would sell. And I also find, why bring a third system into the mix, whatever this is, when the Wii U already isn't doing that great. The 3DS is doing awesome, but you know, you would want both. You're not making money with the Wii U. You're losing money. So why not fix that first before adding something else into the mix that could also fail, and then you have two systems that are doing really bad and making you lose money on both ends. It just seems really weird, regardless of what they end up doing with the NX. It just seems, I can't see it working at the moment, or doing really well. Another thing is that, okay, if they end up just be able to play the 3DS games on the TV, that's kind of like Sony went that route with the Vita, and that's not doing really well. Granted, the Vita is not doing well anyway, and the 3DS is doing much better. I think Vita's at like 10 million or something like that, maybe 12, and I think the 3DS is over 50 million, so at like 55 or something. So they're doing a lot better. So there's a lot more people that could potentially want to play their 3DS games and have, you know, you already have a great base there. They'd be like, okay, well, if we get like maybe 20-25% of them buying this system to do that, that's still quite a lot, but you'd have enough people that could maybe make it work, whereas the PlayStation Vita TV thing is just not working at all. So I don't know, it's really interesting. But another thing too is that I don't think that a digital only console will work. I know that the industry really wants the developers really want this to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen now. And a lot of other people are saying, you know, the next consoles, they're only going to be digital only. I really doubt that. I know that a lot of people are saying that. I think that eventually it could happen, but we are still so far away from that happening because there's so many people that don't have the internet. And the people that do have the internet don't necessarily have either high speed to download these big games or stream them. And then the other thing is that there's caps. A lot of people still have caps of how much they can download and use. So there's a lot of things there. And another thing too, there's collectors like myself that just enjoy having a physical copy. I like looking at the cover art. I looking at manuals for whenever they do. I know that they don't all the time. I like seeing the spine, having it up there, and a lot of people like trading games. You can't trade a download, but you can trade a physical copy. So there's a lot of people that are still like, I think it's still like way more than half that are still buying physical releases. There are people that download, and that's fine, but it's not there yet where you can really support an entire system with no physical releases. Not for quite a while. I've heard that some cities are now starting to have like basically governments saying, okay, this city has Wi-Fi everywhere, but I doubt that you'd be able to play games like stream games or download a huge game off of this like free Wi-Fi that some cities have. So we're still a while away from that. I do not see that being the next consoles. I think if developers went that route, it would fail horribly. We're not ready for that. And I don't know why, like, even YouTubers are saying this. They hear from developers, but I don't think it's going to work. It's just, we haven't been shown that this is going to work yet. So they'd have to either drop them prices for the consoles themselves, which they might be able to do, but I don't know. We'll see how things go. But let me know in the comments below what you think about this. If you think this is possibly what the NX is going to be, what are you hoping from this? How do you feel about physical versus digital as well? Anyway, thank you all for watching. You've been bearded in. Beardage.